12 shots, Yash Allah giving the course, all honor, glory, and praise unto the Most High God Yahweh, in the name of the only God, Son of Mashiach Yahweh Shai, who the world refers to as Jesus Christ, and He is the Savior in the nation of Israel. Shalom, shalom to the 12. All right, so I'm gonna get straight into this. Right, it's going into essentially that the Lord Yahweh, He teaches us to war. Now I want to go to a certain verse real quick. Right, let's go to Judges, chapter 3, verse number 1. It says, "Now these are the nations which the Lord left to prove Israel by them, even as many of Israel as had not known all the words of Canaan." So when you read Judges, the context essentially is Joshua dies. I'm gonna read Judges chapter 2, verse 8. "And Joshua the son of Nun, the servant of the Lord, being 110 years old." Right, so Joshua was 110 years old when he passed away. And so after that, our people started to go off, right? The Lord says that they quickly returned back to their abominations and their evil, right? So essentially, when reading this, our people go back into idolatry. They go back into evil after the death of the mighty judge, the mighty man, the mighty prophet, Joshua. All right, and so that happens a lot when you read the Bible. When there's a righteous king ruling, and as soon as he dies, shortly after, our people start going back into idolatry, going back into their sinful ways, their sinful nature, right? So essentially, that's what's happening to Israel in Judges chapter 2. And so what happens is the Lord sends us into captivity for us to live out our judgment. Now, when we go to Judges chapter 3, verse 1, the Lord said, "These are the nations which the Lord left to prove Israel by them." So remember, this is after the conquest of Canaan, right? Issued by Joshua, led by Joshua, the son of Nun, all right, who was acting as essentially a replacement of Moses. So essentially, after the conquest of Canaan, there were still certain people of the Canaanites left in the land. And the Lord intentionally left them there in order to what? To prove Israel by them. So he wanted to prove us by these nations. See, these nations that we see before us, the Edomites that walk amongst us, right? The Edomite at your job that you have to deal with, the Edomites at your school, the Edomites at your college, whatever the case may be. It could be any heathen. It could be Esau. It could be Moab. It could be Ishmael. Any heathen, right? Even the wicked of our people that are considered heathen, right? Because of their heathenish mindset, you may have to deal with the wicked of your people as well, right? So the nations which the Lord left, the Canaanites that were still in the land of Canaan, right? Even as many of Israel as had not known all the words of Canaan, right? Only that the generations of the children of Israel might know to teach them war, at the least such as before knew nothing thereof. Now, I can't pull up a different translation right now, but if you look in the NIV, if you look in the NOT, you look in these different translations, the ESV, what essentially this verse is saying, these two verses are saying, is that the Lord intentionally left these nations of the Canaanites in the land of Canaan while we're inhabiting it. We're first taking over the land, which is rightfully ours. He intentionally left them there in order to prove us by them, to see if we would keep the commandments or no. And also in verse 2, it's highlighting the fact that we have to what? The Lord is teaching us how to war, how to wage a warfare against them, right? So that's key to understand. The Lord literally uses these heathen, right, in this context. Now we could take it to the spiritual context, right? What's a heathen in the spiritual context? Guess what? You could look at it as what? The spirits, demons that you have to deal with, the vexations, the afflictions you have to deal with, right? The Lord literally sends afflictions, spirits, and demons your way in order for you to learn how to war. Because guess what? We are in a spiritual warfare, man, right? We are in a spiritual warfare. Every day we're in a spiritual warfare. right? It's literally when you're, let's say you're defeating lust. Let's say you're trying to defeat slothfulness. You're trying to defeat murmuring, backbiting. You're trying to defeat the spirit of anger. You're trying to defeat the spirit of whatever the case may be, right? So if you're trying to defeat these spirits, you literally have to set out a game plan, man. You might even have to lay out a game plan for you to follow, a strict regimen for you to follow in order for you to overcome certain spirits, right? Just like how in warfare, right, the generals have to lay out a plan. How are we going to attack? Or if they're on the defending side, how are we going to defend this city, right? Enemy is going to come from this end. An enemy is going to come from the west end, right? We need to make sure this is fortified. So they're going to lay out a battle plan, right, in order to successfully win over the opposing army, the opposing side, right? They need, essentially, for lack of better terms, a blueprint, right? A game plan, a schedule, an agenda, right? They need to plan it out. So likewise, us in the truth, we're planning out how to defeat demons, right? The Lord is sending demons our way in order for us to know how to fight demons, in order for us to know how to be warriors, in order for us to be soldiers, right? What does a soldier do? Fights war, fights battle, right? Let's go to Second Timothy, right? Chapter 2, right? Verse number 1, it says, "Thou therefore, my son, be strong in the grace that is in Hamashiach Yahushua. And the things that thou hast heard of me among many witnesses, the same commit thou to faithful men, who shall be able to teach others also. Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahushua Hamashiach. No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who have chosen him to be a soldier." So the Lord said, no man that warreth. You see that? So we're in a warfare right now, man. Right? I'm gonna get 2 Timothy chapter 1, right? I'm gonna get 2 Timothy chapter 1 and verse number, now let me see, right? Now I want 1 Timothy, Salakia. I want 1 Timothy. This is 1 Timothy chapter 1. Salakia. Hold on. Nah, it's right here. It's right here. I'm looking at it. It's right here. Salakia. Been a while since I pulled this one. Alright. That with them. Minus war again for air. Let me see. Right. Okay, Salakia. 1 Timothy chapter 1 verse 18. It says, "This charge I commit unto thee, son Timothy, according to the prophecies which went before on thee, that thou by them mightest war a good warfare, holding faith and a good conscience, which some having put away concerning faith have made shipwreck." You see that? So it says, according to the prophecies which went out on before thee, that thou by them mightest war a good warfare. So we're in a spiritual warfare. And just like how the Lord kept the Canaanites in our land on purpose for us to fight them, right? Because remember, the generations that were fighting the Canaanites with Joshua in the book of Joshua during the conquest of Canaan, that generation already passed. This is the new generation in Judges chapter 3. This is the new wave of people, of Israelites, right? So with that in mind, they didn't know. They didn't fight in the wars of Canaan, right? In the battles of Canaan, in the conquest of Canaan. They didn't fight in that. So the Lord's like, look, we got this new branch of men. We got this new branch of women. Got this new branch of children. So the Lord's like, okay, look, we need to teach them how to war. We need to teach them war. Because guess what? Yahweh is a man of war. So guess what? His people are going to be about war too. Not in the sense of Esau. Esau, he wages war unjustly and ungodly. He'll wage war and he will literally, as the Lord says, further the affliction. You're doing too much. right? Esau, he'll wage war. He'll drop bombs on innocent families that have nothing to do with the war that's going on, right? That's what Esau does. Esau literally, right? Back, if we go back 300, 400, 500, 600 years, let's say wars of antiquity, let's just say. I mean, you had things that you do in war, but you had other things that you just don't do in war, man, right? Or else that would be considered a war crime, right? It's just certain things you just don't do. And Esau, he literally go for, here you have, for example, World War II. Here you have the Ammonites, the Japanese, attacking Pearl Harbor, which is all military personnel on those ships, right, on those warships. They didn't fly to Honolulu, right, or Maui, and then drop bombs there. The Japanese didn't do that. But Esau, in response to what the Japanese did, drops 2 nuclear bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, right? And then what? Those people have nothing to do with the war. Those are just innocent people in the country of Japan, right? So Esau, he doesn't have any respect, right? But nevertheless, the Lord, he's teaching us war, and he's the man of war in the sense of righteous war and righteous battle against evil. The people that we are going up against in Canaan drank baby blood, sacrificed babies, worshipped idols in our land, did all manner of wickedness in our land. That's why we had to get them up out of there, because we see how they influenced us. The Lord said, look, you can't even make any league with them, right? Why are you making a league with Canaanites? Why are you making a league with them, right? This is, let me get Judges, right? This is Judges. This is Judges chapter 2, verse number 1. And an angel of the Lord came up from Gilgal to Bochim and said, I made you to go up out of Egypt and have brought you unto the land which I swear unto your fathers. And I said, I will never break my covenant with you, and ye shall make no league with the inhabitants of this land. So the Lord said, don't make any league with the inhabitants of the land. This land referring to the land of Canaan. So don't make any league, meaning any friendship, any type of, covenant, right, with the people of Canaan. The Lord said, don't do that. It says, you shall throw down their altars. So all the idolatry, the Lord said, throw that down, man. We're not dealing with that. If you're not worshiping the Most High in the land of Israel, get out of the land of Israel, right? That's what the Lord's saying. Look, if you want to go worship your little idols, do it outside of the land. Don't do it in the land, right? Ultimately, in the kingdom of heaven, everybody's going to be worshiping the Most High. We know that. But we look at the Bible, really the nations were really only punished for idolatry when they were in our own land, right? You can read about that in 2 Kings. But it says what? But ye have not obeyed my voice. Why have ye done this? Wherefore I also said, I will not drive them out from before you, but they shall be as thorns in your sides, and their God shall be a snare unto you. So the Lord said, they shall be as snares in your sides, man. So these heathen, on the physical level, they're as snares in our side, man. They're here to vex us. They're here to, to try to vex you, try to get you out of the spirit. I mean, they're literally here for that, man. The Lord said, I put the heathen there as on purpose, right? And on the flip side, what? These spirits, man. Spirits of anger, depression, anxiety, right? Spirits of lust. You know what I'm saying? Hey, the Lord put a spirit upon a woman to try to seduce you. And the Lord put a spirit on the man that try to vex you, try to get you out of the spirit, try to fight him. Hold on. Are we good? Are we good? I don't know what the heck is going on. Okay, Khan. Salakia. Right, can brothers hear me? Shalom. Shalom, Mark. Right, like no other Khan 144. Okay, yeah, all praises. If brothers can hear me, put a Khan in the chat, Baba Kashah. Brothers can hear me. But basically, yeah, they're like thorns on our side, man. You know what I'm saying? Okay, Khan, all praise the water, the water. So they're like thorns in our side. So when I read this precept, guess what? I break it down twofold. I say, guess what? These heathen, they're like thorns in our side, man. Just like how Paul said, he got a thorn in the flesh. We know that to be a spirit or infirmity that he had in his flesh. It could have been a spirit of lust. It could have been a certain infirmity. Maybe he was sick, right? Maybe it was, you know what I'm saying? The spirit of depression, right? It could have been anything, but it was a thorn in his flesh. Paul talks about that in 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse number 6 on down, right? Or Salakia, chapter 12, right? So, but nevertheless, that's really the point, right? That's really the point. It says what? I'm gonna read that again, verse 3. Joshua chapter Salakia, Judges chapter 2, verse 3. Wherefore I also said, I will not drive them out from before you, but they shall be as Salakia. And their gods. There you go. I'm just brother see me. See that? Satan always messing up the life. You see. Okay, God. Right? Came to pass when the angel of the Lord spake these words unto all the children of Israel, that the people lift up their voice, wept, and they called the name of that place Bochin, and they sacrificed there unto the Lord. You see that? So yeah, that's the point, man. Right? That's the point. So these nations, these spirits, are like thorns in our flesh. I'm gonna get that real quick in 2 Corinthians and just get a couple more, and then that's it through the spirit. Probably like 2 more through the spirit, right? Man, this is tripping, bro. Okay, Salakia, right? So in the midst of us talking about Satan, he wants to appear, right? This is 2 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse number 7. And lest I should be exalted above measure through the abundance of the revelations, there was given to me a thorn in the flesh, the messenger of Satan to buffet me, lest I should be exalted above measure. All right. And so, you know, literally the Lord said, look, I put these heathen here. I put these spirits here to prove you and to test you and to make you understand how war is, right? To make you understand war, to make you know how to cause you to understand how to be a warrior, how to fight, right? That's why the Lord puts, you know what I'm saying, these adversities, these afflictions, and these spirits before us, so we can learn how to fight. Just like how, you know, boxers, you look at boxers, right? Tank, let's look at Tank, for example. Tank, guess what? There's a lot of particulars when it goes into being a good boxer. But one of the things that he does in order to prepare for fights is he spars, right? These boxers, they spar. So literally, the Lord is like our coach. You know, let's take you know, one of the more famous ones. You have Mike Tyson and his coach, right? We all know that to be a, you know, they had a, you know, a good relationship in terms of coaching and you know, athlete, right? Coach athlete relationship, right? Essentially, in this case, the Mosai is our coach, and we're Mike Tyson, man, and he's coaching us. He's putting all these afflictions before us. He's making us do these push-ups. He's making us spar with people. He's making us hit the bag, you know. He's making us do all of these things, in order for us to know how to fight, in order for us to know how to war. That's why he put the Canaanites before us. That's why he puts the Edomites before us. And also on the spiritual level, these spirits and these demons before us, man. So that we can learn how to fight and that we can learn warfare. Because guess what? At the end of the day, Exodus 15 and verse 3, Yahweh is a man of war, man. All right. So with that, all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Amashiach, wa Malak Yahweh Shai. Lord willing, this video is edifying, man. Kwam Yasha Allah. Shalom to all that's been tuning in. Barakatham. Yahweh Ba'ashem, Amashiach, Barakatham. Shalom.